Afghanistan. When you hear that name, you might think of tall mountains, deserts with lots of wind, and people who have survived through lots of history. Afghanistan is in the middle of old trade routes. For thousands of years, it's been a place where different cultures and empires have met. From the time of Alexander the Great until now, this country has seen many kings and empires come and go. Conquerors have wanted it, different traditions have mixed here, and people have fought against being ruled by outsiders. Afghanistan's story is one of strength, showing how its people have lived through many difficult changes and held on to their culture. Afghanistan is important because of where it is. It's between Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East. It was a very important stop on the Silk Road. This group of trade routes helped goods, ideas, and cultures travel between the East and the West. Afghanistan has nice valleys and minerals that empires wanted, but its rough land and strong tribes made it hard to conquer. All of this has made Afghanistan a fascinating and often troubled place. You can see signs of Afghanistan's ancient past in its old ruins and culture. Long before Islam, civilizations started here. The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's first cities, reached into Afghanistan. We can find what's left of this advanced civilization, known for its great city planning and drainage systems, at Shortugai in northern Afghanistan. Later, Afghanistan became part of the Persian Achaemenid Empire. Cyrus the Great, a famous conqueror, added Afghanistan to his huge empire in the 6th century BCE. Persian culture had a big impact on Afghanistan, especially on the Dari language, which is like Persian and is spoken by many people there. Alexander the Great conquered the Persian Empire in the 4th century BCE, and Afghanistan became part of a Greek-influenced empire. After Alexander died, his empire broke apart, and the Mauryan Empire from India took over Afghanistan. The Kushan Empire, which started in the 1st century CE, was a great time for Afghanistan. The Kushans controlled a huge area from Central Asia to northern India. They followed Buddhism, and Afghanistan became a center for Buddhist learning and art. The giant Buddhas of Bamiyan, carved into cliffs in the 6th century CE, showed how important Buddhism was in Afghanistan. The Taliban destroyed these statues in 2001, which was very sad for Afghanistan's history. Islam arriving in the 7th century CE changed Afghanistan a lot. Arab armies sharing the message of Islam conquered Persia and went into Afghanistan. People slowly started following Islam. The Ghaznavid Empire, started by Turkish soldiers in the 10th century, made Islam very powerful in Afghanistan. The Ghaznavids, with their capital at Ghazni, had an empire from eastern Iran to northwestern India. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan and the Mongols invaded. The Mongols went through Central Asia, destroying many things. Afghanistan was badly hurt, cities were destroyed, and many people died. But the Mongols eventually mixed with the people already living there, and Afghanistan slowly recovered. After the Mongols, the Timurids came to power. In the 14th century, Timur, a great military leader, made an empire across much of Persia and Central Asia. Timur's descendant, Babur, started the Mughal Empire in India in the 16th century. The Mughals, even though they were in India, still controlled a lot of what happened in Afghanistan. Modern Afghanistan began in the 18th century. In 1747, Ahmad Shah Durrani, a Pashtun leader, brought the Afghan tribes together and started the Durrani Empire. He is seen as the father of modern Afghanistan. In the 19th century, Afghanistan was caught between the British and Russian empires. The British were worried that Russia would try to take India, so they wanted Afghanistan as protection. This led to 3 wars between the British and Afghanistan. Afghanistan stayed independent but had to listen to the British about other countries. The Third Anglo-Afghan War in 1919 was important. Amanullah Khan, the Afghan king, fought the British and won full independence for Afghanistan. He tried to modernize Afghanistan with new social and economic ideas, but some people didn't like his changes. The 20th century was a difficult time for Afghanistan. After some unrest, the Soviet Union invaded in 1979 and put a communist government in charge. This started a 9-year war. The United States helped the Afghan Mujahideen fighters who were fighting against the Soviets. The Mujahideen were many different Afghan groups who all wanted the Soviets and the communist government out. They fought hard against the Soviets. The war hurt Afghanistan badly. Millions of people had to leave their homes, and lots of buildings were destroyed. The Soviet Union left in 1989 without winning. When the Soviets left, different mujahideen groups started fighting each other. The Taliban, a group with very strict Islamic beliefs, became powerful. They said they would bring peace and enforce their rules. In 2001, the Taliban ruled Afghanistan. They were known for hurting people and protecting Al-Qaeda. After the September 11th attacks, the United States and other countries invaded Afghanistan. They removed the Taliban and helped make a new democratic government. This brought some peace. They made a new constitution and built schools and hospitals. Things got better for women too. But the Taliban didn't disappear. They hid in the mountains near Pakistan and kept fighting. In 2021, after 20 years of war, the United States left Afghanistan. The government quickly lost control and the Taliban took over again. Many people worried that things would go back to how they were in the 1990s. Afghanistan has been through a lot. Many empires and countries have tried to control it, but the Afghan people have always been strong, protecting their independence and culture. Afghanistan's story isn't just about fighting and hardship. It's also about the strength of its people, their kindness and their interesting culture. From Rumi's poetry to beautiful carpets, Afghanistan has given a lot to the world. Even though things are hard, the Afghan people are still strong. They hold on to their traditions and hope for a more peaceful future. Afghanistan's story is one of hope, showing how people can survive and rebuild even when things are very bad.